All right, Algebra 1A students. Welcome to part 2 of lesson 2.8. In this video, we'll be talking about proportions and using those to solve problems about scale drawings, scale models, and things of that nature. So one more application here of proportions before we end our chapter. Now, a scale drawing is a drawing that is similar to an actual object or place, but it's just a much smaller version. So floor plans for your house, blueprints for a new building, or map of some roads are all examples of scale drawings. They're drawings of things that are actually, they actually exist, but obviously they're much smaller than the actual thing that they drew. In a scale drawing, the ratio of any length to the actual length in real life is always the same. Okay, that ratio is called the scale, and that makes a proportion for us. Okay. So a lot of times a scale is given to you on maps or on drawings, and then you have to turn that into a proportion or into a ratio and then into a proportion. Okay. So for example, here's a question about a map of Florida where they're asking us what is the actual distance from Jacksonville to Orlando? Use the ruler to measure the distance from Jacksonville to Orlando on the map below. Well, the thing that I know for sure is that my scale for this map is 1 inch means 110 miles. So the first thing I'm going to do is make a fraction out of that. 1 inch over 110 miles. That's my first fraction in this proportion. 1 inch means 110 miles. Okay. Now the other the other fraction that I need to write is something about the actual distance on the map. So obviously, 1 inch is the distance on the map, 110 miles is the distance in real life. Now I don't know how far apart these two cities are in real life, so X will be on the bottom here, but I do know how far apart they are on the map. Right? Because this shows me that, well, okay, here's 1 inch, and then it looks like this much more. So it's like 1 1/4 inches, or as a decimal, it's 1.25 inches. Okay, 1.25 inches over X. So now I have two fractions set up. One is kind of the scale from my map. 1 inch means 110 miles. The other is my actual distance on the map, or my distance on the map, I should say, over my actual distance. X miles. I'm not sure how many miles this is. Okay, and now I can solve using cross multiplication as I usually do. Cross multiply this way, cross multiply that way. I end up with, well, 1 times x is just 1x. And on the other side of my equal sign, I have 1.25 times 110. Sorry, this should say equals. 1.25 times 110 is 137.5. So then dividing by 1 should get my x all alone. The nice thing is dividing by 1 doesn't change anything. So the distance between Jacksonville and Orlando is 137.5 miles. That would be my final answer. Okay, I just use my scale as one fraction, use my actual over, my map distance over actual as my other fraction, and cross multiply to solve. Here's one I'd like you to try. Here I have a scale model, which is like a 3D replica of a scale drawing. Scale model of a building is 6 inches tall. The scale of the model is 1 inch to 50 feet. And they want to know how tall is the actual building. So pause the video for a minute. Take a look at this problem, then come on back and I'll show you what we should get. Okay, in this case, the proportion we should set up is 1 over 50 equals x, 6 over x, because it's 1 over 50 is my scale. Obviously, 1 inch goes with 6 inches, 50 feet goes with x feet, I'm not sure. But I cross multiply and I get that x equals 300 feet. So that building is 300 feet tall. Right. If you have questions about solving problems about scale models or scale drawings using a proportion, please make a note to ask me in class tomorrow. Otherwise, that's all I have for you. Have a wonderful night.